Hi friends, welcome to Sada Learning Hub. You are with me, Shadashara. Today's session, we are going to learn the most important Java interview questions. The first question is, how can one prove that the array is not null but empty using one line of code? If you print args.length, it will print 0. That means it is an empty. But if it would have been null, then it would have throw null pointer exception on attempting to print args.length. How can one prove that the array is not null but empty using one line of code? By using arg.length, it prints 0, it is an empty. If it's a null, if ox is a null, if you try to fetch the length, it gives the null pointer exception. The next question is, what are the checked and unchecked exceptions? A checked exception is the sum subclass of an exception, excluding a class runtime exceptions and its subclasses. Making an exception checked forces client programmers to deal with the possibility that the exception will be thrown. For example, IO exception. IO exception thrown by a java.io.file input stream read method. Unchecked exceptions are the runtime exceptions and any of its subclasses. And any of its subclasses. Class error and its subclasses also are unchecked. With an unchecked exceptions, however, the compiler doesn't force client programmer either to catch the exceptions or declare it in a throw class. In fact, client programs may not even know that the exception could be thrown. For example, string out of bounds exception thrown by the string caret method. Checked exceptions must be caught at a compile time, and runtime exceptions do not need to be. Error often cannot be. A checked exception is sometimes subclass of an exception, excluding a class runtime and its a subclass. Making an exception checked forces client programmers to deal with the possibility that an exceptions will be thrown. Unchecked exceptions are the runtime exceptions and any of its subclasses. Class, error, and its subclasses also are unchecked. With the unchecked exceptions, however, the compiler doesn't force client programs either to catch the exceptions or declare it's the throws class. The next question is, what one should take care of while serializing an object. One should make sure that all the included objects are also serializable. If any of the object is not serializable, then it throws a not serializable exception. If any of the object is not serializable in that, it throws a not serializable exception. The next question is, what happens to the static fields of a class during the serialization? There are the three exceptions in which serialization doesn't necessarily read and write to the stream. Those are, serialization ignores a static fields because they are not a part of a particular state. Second one is, base class fields are only held if the base class itself is serializable. The third one is transient fields. These are the three exceptions in which serialization doesn't necessarily read and write the streams. The next question is, how does a try statement determine which catch clause should be used to handle an exception? When an exception is thrown within the body of the try statement, the catch clause of the try statement are examined in the order in which they appears. The first catch clause that it is capable of handling an exception executed, the remaining catch clause are ignored. When An exception is thrown with the body of the try statement. The catch clause of the try statements are examined in the order in which they appears. The first catch clause that is capable of handling an exception executed, the remaining catch clauses are ignored. Next question is, what is the catch or declare rules for method declarations? If a If a checked exceptions may be thrown within the body of this method, the method must either catch the exception or declare it in the throws clause. A checked exceptions may be thrown within the body of the method. The method must either catch the exception or declare in its throws clause. The next question is, what will be the initial value of an object reference which is defined as an instance variables? The object reference are all initialized to null in Java. However, in order to do anything useful with these references, you must set them to a valid object, else you will be get null pointer exception. For example, see here, I am creating a class demo. In this class demo, I am declaring a str. Whenever we are declaring a instance variable, the JVM automatically initialized the null values. The next question is, what restrictions are placed on the method overloading? Two methods may not have the same name and the arguments list but different return types. These are the restrictions. Two methods may not have the same name. It's the same name and arguments list but different return types. The next question is, why is not there operator overloading? Why is not there operator overloading in Java? Because C++ has proven by example that operator overloading makes the code almost impossible to maintain. There is a maintenance problem uh, of the operator overloading. That's why Java is not supports the operator overloading. The next question is, what is the difference between the method overriding and method overloading? Overriding is the method with the same name and the arguments as in the parent, whereas overloading is the same method name but different arguments. And if you coming to the method of overloading, in the case of method of overloading, parameters must be different. In case of method of overloading, parameters must be the same. Method overloading is used to increase the readability of the program, and method overriding is used to provide the specific implementations of the method that is already provided by the superclass. And method overloading access specifiers can be changed, and the method overriding access specifiers must not be more restrictive than original methods. In the method of overloading, static methods can be overloaded, which means a class can have more than one static method of the same name. In the method of overriding, static methods can be overridden even if you declare the same static method in the child class. It has nothing to do with the same method of a parent class. In the method overloading, private and final methods can be overloaded, and method overriding, private and final methods cannot be overridden. And method overloading, return type of a method does not matter in case of method overloading. It can be same or different. In the method overriding, return type must be same or covariant method overriding. The method overloading is compile time concept and method overriding is the runtime concept.
Thank you so much watching this video. Hope this lesson helpful to you. Keep watching our lessons. Keep writing to us. Do not forget subscribe our channel Sada Learning Hub because we have many sessions that would help you to develop our skills and I will be back soon. Till then you take care. Bye bye.